Hey y'all, what's up? I came in to talk to you. Oh, well, first off, it's Mahogany Sweets, but I came to ask y'all how that egg feel on y'all face. You get what I'm saying? We know Joe Budden is the content king, content creator. He stays with a vision, with a plan, and he executes well. You get what I'm saying? And for the last 10 years, over a decade, he has been showing us that he always lands on his feet. He cannot be stopped. And I don't know what had y'all under the impression that this situation right here was gonna be the end of Joe Budden. You get what I'm saying? But y'all flip floppy as hell. Y'all choosy, y'all fickle, and y'all fake and phony. On some real though. So we all know that Joe Budden suspended Rory, and then Maul decided to do a walkout. So y'all all came with this crap talking about, oh, the Joe Budden podcast is done. Joe Budden is done. Y'all ain't watching. Y'all going on strike as well. You get what I'm saying? Y'all was all on Twitter and on YouTube with y'all picket signs outside of the Joe Budden podcast, demanding y'all royalties. I don't know. So anyway, this is what I got to say. Y'all talked all that crap, and here we are today, Wednesday, pod drop, and it was phenomenal. Y'all tripped and was talking crap about Ice and Ish and stuff like that, and y'all was all up Rory and Moss behind. Talking about y'all siding with him. He getting custody. Well, they getting custody of y'all. You know what I'm saying? And Joe Budden's the evil daddy. Who walked out on a family, mistreated the family, and got a new girlfriend. Well, anyway, now today y'all all talking about not only do y'all love this lineup, love Ish and Ice, but that y'all like them better than Rory and Maul. I'm like, damn, y'all giving it up like that. And how y'all forgetting about Rory and Maul. If Rory and Maul don't come back soon, y'all really don't care. You know what I'm saying? Y'all could do without them. And it's just astonishing to me that y'all flipped that freaking quick. When I told y'all from the get-go, show loyalty and support to all of them. But let's get into this. So, Joe Budden's genius. What made y'all think that the Joe Budden podcast would not continue on and would not do well just because Rory and Maul wasn't there when Joe Budden is the draw? Whether you love or hate Joe Budden, he's the reason why you came. Y'all wouldn't know of Rory and Maul unless they sat down next to Joe Budden. So if y'all was going to pick sides and be choosy, why wouldn't it have been Joe Budden? Since technically that's who y'all chose, because y'all still watching and now y'all in love with this Ish and Ice character, which I ain't mad at y'all for that. I'm just pointing out that y'all was being real fake. You know what I'm saying? But I also stated, like, if the Mixie Boys don't come back, then keep this lineup because Ish and Ice is bringing fire. People was making a comment or their observation that they like Ish and Ice better due to the fact that they are opinionated. They have opinions and they're not afraid to show them because unlike Maul and Rory, they're not industry connected and tied up trying to protect relationships or whatever. But the other thing that I want to say is Joe Budden possibly removed their picture, because y'all was talking about that. Joe Budden possibly removed their pictures off of there because, like, some people were saying, like, oh, I thought Rory and Maul was back today. Well, he might have removed their pictures, like, so y'all know that they're not there. And then he'll reinsert them once they come back, so then y'all know that they're there. But what I also think might happen, and what will be smart as a business move going forward, is since they seem to, them two, possibly, were under the impression that if they walk out, then the show is done, like, thought that they had that much power. And y'all definitely seem to be under that impression that the Joe Budden podcast was done since Rory and Maul wasn't there, which y'all clearly see egg on your face. But he could have looked at it like, you know what? Due to the situation, let me remove pictures so if they come back or anybody else who comes to sit on this couch knows that, no, this is my show. This is my baby. This is my brainchild. I'm the star of this, and as long as I'm here, the show goes on. And make sure that y'all know that as well. They're like, no, it is Joe Budden who makes the podcast. Just like it was Joe Budden who made Everyday Struggle. Just like it was Joe Budden who made Pull Up, who made state of the culture. Like these are all him. These are his brainchilds, his babies. And he would be smart to make sure that they, as well as anyone else, know you can't run off with my baby just because you in your feelings, just because you get mad, or just because you choose to depart. And we all know those type of people who feel like they could wish they were great guys, you know what I'm saying? Like great friends to come and support him in his vision. But we all know them type of people who feel like, oh, I'm your help. Like they put more emphasis on themselves and feel like, oh, okay, if you piss me off or things ain't rocking, I can sink your whole ship. I can run off with your baby. And that ain't gonna happen, and that didn't happen. Now, I'm not saying that that's how Maul and Rory thought, but at a minimum, they, due to their absence, they felt it would bring a negative impact on a Joe Budden podcast. And as much as y'all was talking, you would think that it did or was, but that ain't the case. So never allow anyone to think that they have that much power over your baby, that if they walk out, the baby goes too. So Joe is still thriving and surviving, as he shall continue to. And I just want to say, going forward, how about y'all keep an open mind? You get what I'm saying? Like, y'all came in it not wanting to give Ish and Ice a chance, an opportunity, and then y'all have grown to enjoy it. Like, okay, you know what, this is dope, this can work, and y'all should have more faith and trust in Joe Budden. Like I said, this is baby. He gonna want to make sure that he does the best for it. So we knew he was going to bring something great regardless. So that's why I was sticking with him, just like I was going to continue to stick with Rory and Maul. If they come back, that's great. If they, and plus this opened the door for more creativity, more content, more personalities, people who y'all can grow to like, who have something to offer. So never try and close or limit Joe into a box as if he has to be sitting next to Rory and Maul. For the show to go on, or for y'all to have interest, because he don't. Number one, especially early in the beginning, like I said, Joe is the one who was the draw on why y'all came in. So love or hate him, it's him. And y'all always talking about how Rory always trying to protect relationships, and Maul, doesn't really state his opinions on things. So then who were you actually watching and listening to? It was Joe Budden or whatever. But anyway, minus that, I think that this is also the opportunity for Joe to introduce new people, new personalities, new fresh ideas, a new podcast with these two guys, as well as Rory and Maul. He can still do that with them. Like, just because them two are, like, y'all close yourselves off to feeling like things have to stay or be a certain way or only particular people. This open doors, and we can watch a lot of more other people come to the forefront from the Joe Budden network. And we should have an open mind with anyone. We should be accepting and willing to give a chance to anyone who he brings on a podcast, whether they're permanent or whether they are just a guest. You get what I'm saying? So I think that y'all minds should be like that. Open it up more and stop limiting yourself, and damn sure stop trying to limit him, Joe Budden, on who he can sit next to, who he can bring and give a platform to. Because as y'all see, it just might be dope. But I don't appreciate the fact like that y'all just switched up like that, talking about Rory and Maul don't need or don't have to come back. And it's a shame though, right? To go out on some know your worth king just to find out that your worth is you can be replaced for half the pay. Damn, that gotta burn, you know what I'm saying? So you gotta be careful with that or whatever. Because y'all just went and just said forget Rory and Maul altogether, instead of saying like, oh, Joe, this is dope. When Rory and Maul come back, right, continue to do the podcast with them, but do something with these guys over here on the side. Like, y'all don't have to be stuck with just one setup, one lineup, It's a much broader world out there. So I think that Joe, as we see, are continuing to do well. I like the Ish and Ice character. When it was Savon and Ice, I watched that episode because, of course, I was going to watch it every day. Every night ain't a Grand Slam. I was going to watch every episode. Every night ain't a Grand Slam, because part of the reason why that might have been kind of dry was due to the media frenzy that they were just coming off of. As well as it being, something unfamiliar. You have to give chemistry and people time to be able to settle in, for relationships to grow, and for a flow, a vibe to be created. So say Von and Ice and Joe, that dynamic could have been like that because they all could have been thrown off. Joe with what was going on and what he knew people were saying and interested in. Say Von with like, okay, well, I have my own podcast, but now I'm sitting as a front runner on my boss's podcast. Isis has already been on the show. Like he used to be on the show back in the I'll name these podcasts later when they were at the studio where Rory worked at, I think at Sony or whatever. So I was already familiar with Ice anyway, but like give people opportunity and a chance. Be accepting of those who come to the platform. Don't feel like things have to be a particular way in a particular box. Continue to support Rory and Maul. I just don't get how y'all flip like that. Like y'all fickle as hell. And then y'all boosted up Rory and Maul's head with all that it is. The show can't go on without them. When y'all should have just sat back and chilled because now y'all done flipped, and I'm quite sure that had to be a blow to them for y'all to be up there talking about they ain't gotta come back. You like these two way better and all that. Like everything ain't gotta be compared. Y'all could have just been like, hey, Rory and Maul, we miss y'all. Make sure y'all come back. Hey, Joe Budden, we like this lineup. These guys is cool. Maybe you should see about giving them a platform and doing something with them as well. You know, which I'm quite sure Joe Mine could have been there. Joe, in a sense of make lemonade out of lemons. He could have looked at it like, right, this situation happened. It opened my eyes to, right, let me pull their pictures off of here so people don't got it confused and think that this only exists if them two sit next to me. Let me make sure that they don't have that confused. And let me introduce more people. That's just how I'm looking at it. Going forward, y'all, sit back and chill. Don't limit yourself with other people's babies from growing. And continue to support all three of them in the way that y'all doing it. That's not support to anyone, okay? Don't flip and switch up on Joe like that again. And second off, as like I said, as we all see, Joe is a genius. He's a genius. You got to give it to him. You don't got to like all geniuses. That don't stop them from being a genius. You don't got to like every player move that they make. It don't stop them from making good plays and good moves. And plus, as you growing in life, in business, in relationships, it's all live and learn. And you perfect and get better at whatever it is that you're doing. So y'all also need to leave and save room for that too. Every deal that's made, whether it falls through or not, doesn't mean that it was a bad move or a bad deal. Could have been a lesson, you know what I'm saying? Helped you better perfect in other areas. Or it could have just been time for change and for a switch up, whatever the case may be. But salute to you, Joe Budden, for doing your thing and for showing them that no, it's the Joe Budden podcast. Because I don't know how they confused about the fact that they came to the Joe Budden podcast for Joe Budden, not Rory and Maul. Salute to Rory and Maul. You still have my support. I still enjoy you on a podcast. I hope you Mixie Boys come back. If you don't, that's fine. Ish and Ice, I enjoyed you guys from the beginning. I'm glad that you're now receiving the love from the Joe Budden podcast viewers. Just ignore them because, you know, they them type of people where we like to have shits and giggles. We like to roast, you know what I'm saying? It's all love, so don't take it personal when they be in them comments roasting y'all a little bit. As you see, they hate you 1 minute, love you the next. That's just the world of life, let alone celebrity life. That's how it goes. There's no such thing as a true fan or true supporter, I guess. If these situations ain't teaching y'all nothing, let it teach y'all that. Joe Budden, I guess if you want to still call them your true supporters, you can. Maybe they just was busting your boss too with the whole they on strike with the picket signs too type of stuff. But anyway, give me your thoughts about what's going on, about how Ice and Ish has grown on everyone. If y'all like or interested in Joe Budden opening his platform up to having different type of duos and dynamics that he even sit with. And tell me what y'all think about how fake and phony y'all are.